Hello and welcome. My name is Luca Taylor-Footer and I'm a second year student at Coventry University studying sport management. And this is a presentation of my academic poster describing the process that we took to innovate and create a business model from a recently purchased canal boat. So our business idea started from one of our group members suggesting we could create a cafe on the boat. She'd previously worked for a bus company whereby they offered tours around London whilst offering food and drink, so we thought we could adapt this idea and move it onto a canal boat and then also offer them a tour around the Birmingham canals. We thought that this idea seemed appropriate as Fallon originally stated you should start a business where your interests lie, and that we could do something that we are familiar with, so then straight away we knew where to start looking and what means and resources that we may require, and it just meant that the business idea could be started straight away and research could be done. Our first period of research followed the effectual cycle, whereby we had a set of means, which was the canal and the boat, but no real method of how to create a business. It was a matter of bird in hand, finding out what experiences we had, any networks or previous relationship that could be useful, and most importantly, picking our strongest points to grow the business from, such as my experience as a waiting staff, which will be helpful on the boat when we serve food and drinks, or our team members' experience with a city tour company and knowing how to be successful in that given market segment. In fact, the business idea seemed to be more appropriate as we went on, because we then found out that one of our team members had an experience with a canal boat and also lived in the area, which meant that going into Birmingham Canal seemed like a good idea and seemed like we had the right experience to take the business model forward. Following on from Saravathi's effectual cycle, we moved on to the patchwork quilt stage, whereby we needed to discuss what partnerships and relationships we would need in order to grow the business. Knowing that with this type of business, repeat customers was unlikely, or would at least be not very frequent. It was about growing the name and the brand, so we decided that having a strong, good relationship with the supplier would mean we should always be able to work with full resources. And then we went on to discuss the impact of having a strategic partnership, such as coupling up with a neighbouring bus tour in Birmingham, because then we can forward our customers onto them and they can do the same. Piloting the plane was the final preparation phase that aligned with the effectual cycle that we used, and this was a matter of doing the simple thing and always ensuring that what was promised by us is what the customer would receive. So we looked to build our business on the fact that we were a local, family-friendly run business who prioritise customer satisfaction and experience. So this helps to reduce the risk of failure, and then will make our brand image more attractive as well. And then on the other hand, we occasionally followed a process of causal thinking, that we were so obsessed with the end goal, we forgot to review and research as thoroughly as we could. And in reflection, it was quite naive of us to ignore affordable loss, because we jumped straight into expected return without fully working out our finances, and we're just looking at pricing and how much we would charge and how much profit or revenue we could make. So when we did finally take a step back to evaluate the cost, things easily started to add up. So we were looking at about £2,085 for a canal boat to be moored, £750 for electricity for the year, £3,200 for fuel for the year, £315 for a business licence in Birmingham, £295 for an application fee in Birmingham, and then including the price of food and drink on top of that we'd need to satisfy our customers, you're looking at over £10,000. And then if we wanted to revamp the interior and exterior of the boat to make it suitable for the business, you're almost getting onto £15,000 there. So looking back, if we were to do the same thing again, we should take more than one idea and then distribute the different ideas to an individual, so he can then look up the pricing and how much roughly it's going to cost, and then roughly how much we can charge for the service. Because if you're paying too much at the start and then you can't get enough money back, then soon it just builds up debt, and that's a bad way to start our business. Nevertheless, we still carried on with the business model, and then decided to look into it even further, like how we want to build the model, and which ways we were going to make profit, and how our business model canvas would look when we considered key partners, key activities, key propositions, etc., etc. So starting off with the key partners of our business, we looked at our partners being our sources of food. So we needed to make the bread or the meat in our sandwiches or our cakes or whatever we may be offering in the cafe. And then another partnership we're looking to is a strategic partnership that I spoke about earlier with a bus tour company in Birmingham. so we could entwine our customers together. And then the key activities of our business, we needed to look at the market depth and competition. We need to sort out quality checks and apply for licenses. We needed to set the pricing guidelines. We need to establish the business, such as advertisement, special offers. We need to develop an inventory, and we need to set up accountant. So going forward, these were the things we needed. And then value propositions of our business, we valued that having a family-friendly business would be one big thing. We have experience in the area for the tour. Homemade food adds value. We have quite a unique business idea that we were going to go on. And then customer relationships with our business, we looked into a social media account, email addresses, telephone number to deal with queries, returns, etc. We can email customers, email previous customers as well with welcome back offers or whatever, or bring a friend. Then we looked into what customer segments we wanted to target. So we're looking into targeting families, tourists, offer special events, to target the younger audience, aka a gin night or another special event, and then also the potential for private hire of the boat. Revenue for our business most likely to be transactional revenue with a fixed pricing list. We could use leasing to increase revenue if we did want to rent out the boat. And then evaluating our resources, we had the physical resource, which would be the boat and the mooring station. Our intellectual resource would be our logo and our brand and the bus tour partnership. Human resources would be our family and friends. And then finally, the cost of our business. Decided that we'd make it a value-driven business, whereby we value our customer feedback and service more than profit to start. And then when we get enough customers, we'll then be a cost-driven business, if possible. We also then looked into a theoretical framework for innovation. So we needed to evaluate the reasons for why we're doing our business and how we're going to target the audience. So usage reasons, we decided that obviously the canal boat can be used for tourists to tour Birmingham and have an experience that way. Value incentives, as Collegian stated, that having a lack of perceived value towards a business is an impediment for innovation, so that we need to value what we do in order to be successful to our customers. And then we also need to look at risk reasons and the fact that, is our price too high that customers are not willing to pay for this new business because it's a risk, they don't know much about it. So we need to have a low cost so that the risk is worth it for the customers. And psychological factors and image incentives, we need to ensure there isn't any barriers so that we can attract all cultures, all personality and all ages that's possible, and that our image of our brand is attractable and our reputation in our marketplace will be attractable as well in order to have as many customers as possible. So going forward, what next for our business? Well, I feel that we still didn't cover all the steps of innovation appropriately, and that if time allowed, we'd need to follow the steps of incubation and test and scale. Because for the incubation, we need to feed our idea more. We need to find out more about what market we were going into, what the social impacts were of being in Birmingham, the cultural impacts. But we also needed to test and scale our idea so that we could trial the business and carry out further market research. And finally, in summary, I think these two quotes that I found through research just show that we might have needed to change our business idea. So firstly, from Agno about disruptive mindset, he states that drive fresh growth by refeaturing existing products and services and reinventing outdated processes. Well, I began to think, and I thought that maybe the canal boat could be seen as an outdated process, and that maybe, although tourists might find it attractive because of the small spaces and stuff, that it's not quite up to date with technology. And the other quote was from OECD, and they stated that entrepreneurs are persons who seek to generate value through the creation or expansion of economic activity by identifying and exploiting new products, processes, or markets. And I feel that like what we were doing with the canal boat was nothing new, nothing exciting. And so although, yes, we may get customers through tourists and stuff who enjoy the purpose of having a tour around Birmingham, it may not have been the right place to take it. And recent research showed that Birmingham's tourist levels were at their highest point. So could there have been another way that we could have used the canal boat to give them a different experience as opposed to just a cafe? Maybe a complete touring experience or a canal taxi or something different that just gave a little bit more excitement to our business, and going forward may have been the best way to create the highest amount of revenue. Okay, well, that's all for my presentation. So thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.